In this video, we're going to talk about my release head setup. This is what launches the rocket. It has three parts: the remote, the cables, and the actual release head. To start, we'll talk about the actual release head. The main part of this is this big lever, and it interfaces at the top here and kind of clamps in the nozzle. You can see the nozzle here. The lever clamps on this part and holds it from pulling out. It's got what's called a lip seal in here that holds the pressure but allows it to slide free. This is where the air comes in to pressurize the rocket. And this big lever makes the force on the servo down here significantly less. That means we can use a much weaker servo than we would if we didn't have this long lever, which means it's very easy to hold down and release. It passively releases using the force of the rocket. The next part of this is the cable. This is just a pretty standard Ethernet cable. It's currently spooled up on an old 3D printer filament spool. It has connectors soldered on the end. This allows me to get much further away from the rocket so that it can be launched safely. The final and most important part of the system is the remote. It has this on-off switch here, and then this red button cover. This is mainly for fun. Underneath is these buttons, and when you press this button, it would lock the servo into place, and when you press it again, it begins the launch sequence. And at the end of that last buzz, it would move the servo out of the way. So, what we're going to do is open it up, and I will show you some of the insides here. Okay, now we've got the bolts removed. I'll remove the cover, and you can see what it looks like inside. So this is all a 3D printed case. You can see we have our battery connector here, the power switch, and the main circuit board. These are the button covers. They're also just 3D printed. We've got two standard instantaneous push buttons. We have 3 LEDs to show us the status of the remote. With the circuit board removed, you can see the bottom. We have our buzzer here, and the heart of the whole remote, and really the whole system, is this Arduino Micro. This runs all the code and triggers the servo to move, which releases the rocket. Here is the connector that the extension cable plugs into, and we have resistors for LEDs and all of the other wiring. The servo is plugged directly into the battery so it doesn't cause the voltage to sag and the board to reset. So that is my whole launch system. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps, and I'll see you next time.